Hi all, this is Lingaraj here, as usual with Azure video. Yes, this is the smallest topic and most of you are aware of this topic, but let's talk about something good, something which is needed. Why do we need a Bastion? Most of the installations, most of the landing zone designs, LLDs, you will find Bastion host as a mandatory in the newer designs when you find an Azure or when you have an Azure, or maybe it is in AWS as well, I would say. So Bastion, what is Bastion? So when you want to ensure that you have a TLS connection when they access your machines remotely, and when you would like to ensure that you don't use the public IP addresses and you don't want to use port 3389, when you don't want to use the RDP protocol to be made available in the internet, then what do you exactly have as a solution? A jump server, right? Exactly. So very much similar to the jump server, we have Azure Bastion, which allows you to access all your machines on a browser. When I say browser, it could be Chrome, it could be Edge, right? It could be Firefox as well. So you can utilize your RDP machines or RDP facilities onto the browser, and that's what is the Bastion in the layman terms. Okay, so let's get started. Understand, okay, what is your Bastion looks like in an architecture. Okay, so on my screen, if you see, you have got a Bastion host listed. So when we create a Bastion, think about having a Bastion subnet, and that's a mandatory. Okay, so it is important we have a Bastion host to support any type of a login which needs your remote machine access. That is, whenever someone in your organization would like to answer or would like to actually take a remote of machines, one should use the browser. Very simple, right? So if you look at the step 1 or if you look at the step 2 here on my screen, you find the TLS there, and you actually have a 443 port connecting to the Bastion. And if you look at the step 3, it is a private IP address to the another subnet where your virtual machines are hosted. Considering the fact we have got machines only accessible in a private network and we do not allow a public traffic to our machines. So whatever load, whatever aspects you want to try it out or you want to secure, you can use a Bastion subnet. So the internet connection will actually end or terminate in the Bastion host itself or Bastion subnet. It will not allow internet traffic to surpass until the VM unless it is allowed. So you have a Bastion host getting you a service or giving you a service which can help you to take a remote desktop of your machines. That's so easy, right? So you need not to have SSH, you need not to have an RDP, no public IP addresses, no NSEs for scanning the ports, right? So that's a so easy method when you would like to get onto a Bastion host. So you might be thinking, hey, look, I have a hub and spoke model in my LLD or in my landing zone design or in my foundations. How do I ensure that we use the Bastion and that really works with your standard architecture, what we follow, hub and spoke model? Let's get into it. On my screen, if you see the diagram, that's the architecture diagram, what we have. So you have a TLS entering into Bastion host or Bastion subnet. And then the Bastion host subnet, wherein the VNet is paired with other VNets, and the VNet pairing really works as smooth as you need. You just have to ensure that you have a right routing tables to the particular VNets which has been paired. You have Bastion host has been enabled. You have the separate Bastion host subnet for that, and boom, you're on. So that's all about your Bastion. There are some high availability scenarios where we think you may have to use the Bastion with your 2 locations or maybe multiple locations. maybe it's worth having a Bastion host for different regions. If you need more information on how do you design or how do you want Bastion to be placed, please DM me here in LinkedIn or follow me on Twitter. Thank you.